My wife says I need a haircut. I don't necessarily know if I agree or not, but looking into the camera had me thinking. Hope you're having a great day. I'm Ty Whittingham. This is Google Ads Training and Consulting, and this is the third most important thing that I think you need to know about Google Ads, specifically conversion tracking. So we're going to get into a screen share here, and I want to talk a little bit about this, help you understand why conversion tracking is so darn important. First off, conversion tracking, if we were to relate Google Ads to sports, I have a video of Michael Jordan pulled up here and one of his infamous no-look shots. I want to analyze this frame. Conversion tracking in Google Ads is like scoring points in sports. If there were no confirmations that a point was scored in a basketball game, like let's say Michael Jordan, or let's say anybody's playing basketball, and you just close your eyes and you shoot the shot and you don't see where the shot goes, there's no way of knowing for certain whether or not it went in, or if everybody was not looking, then you wouldn't know if it went in, if maybe you were just by yourself. So when Michael Jordan takes his no-look shots, and I have another person that I want to show as well, one of my other favorite athletes, his name is Ronaldinho. His no-look passes are pretty epic. But Michael Jordan, in order to be able to execute on his no-look shots, and any athlete that can make shots without even looking, it's because they've had thousands and tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of practice shots before that where they did look. And so this is kind of like a bad example here, but no, it's actually a really good example, and we're just going to go with it. So Michael Jordan here is a player, an NBA basketball player, for those of you who did not know. He played for the Chicago Bulls in the in the 90s and late 2000s, I believe. Down below where we see it, it shows that he has 36 points. That's far above average. So that would be more conversions than an average account, is what Michael Jordan got on an average night for him. That's why he was one of the greatest. But 36 points, he didn't just get 36 points because he showed up this day and started shooting. He's been practicing his entire life for this. So I want to just play this clip here, and I want to turn off the sound while we watch it. So he's taunting them, saying, "Yeah, you want me to shoot it? No look? Okay, here we go." Swish. He is able to do that, and Ronaldinho, checking out some of these passes. I like his hair. I don't know. I hate this ad. This is one of my most hated ads, the ad that comes over the top of videos. So anyways, these guys were two athletes that were the exception. And if you have managed a lot of Google ads, hundreds or thousands of accounts, in hundreds of millions, billions in spend, okay, I want to take a side note here. Anybody who says, "Oh, I've managed millions in spend," that is like not even a fraction of a percent of everything of the amount of money that's spent on these advertising platforms in one day. So if somebody says, "Oh yeah, I've managed a couple $1,000,000," that's not even a pixel on the radar. $60 billion is what is spent on Google Ads in 2019, or predicted to be spent on Google Ads in 2019. And so really you have to have a much larger dollar amount to be analyzed, not because, "Oh, you're cool, you've analyzed X amount of spend," but no, it just takes that amount of data for you to start recognizing these patterns. And so if you have good knowledge and a depth of knowledge of Google Ads and the different targeting possibilities, you can run successful campaigns without conversion tracking. But if you are new, or only have experience in a couple accounts, maybe you're managing your own account, then I strongly, 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 strongly recommend using conversion tracking. And really, it is the only way to have success when using Google Ads. So this first screenshot here that I want to talk about is the conversions area of an account. You don't necessarily have to have this many conversions, but if we take a look over here in this zone, we see that it's sorted by all conversions. And I want to talk about what each of these conversions are and how they might apply to you in your business. This particular account here is focusing on lead generation. And the first thing I think you need to know about conversion tracking in general is that not all conversions are created equal. There is, in this particular instance, a quote form submission, which is somebody filling out the quote form, obviously. And then the next one down is offline sales, and the next one down is phone calls. So when you're generating leads through any tool, it doesn't matter what the source is that you're generating leads, we're just using Google Ads in this particular instance. A lead does not make you money. That's not your goal. You don't want leads. You have to have leads, but you don't want to count the leads as the macro goal. You want to count the offline sale as the macro goal that you're trying to optimize for. Because what you'll find is the cheapest leads are often the lowest quality. And many other advertisers know that. This isn't new. Google Ads has been around for almost 20 years now. And people are starting to get keen to this game. The big players are getting more keen to the game and are weeding out the poorer quality conversions. And so there's methods for smaller advertisers to be able to do that as well. But the thing that is most important that we know is that quote form submission in this particular instance, that is exactly that. And if we're optimizing only for that, then we might lead ourselves astray. We see that offline sales is the very next one, and the method of the source here is import from clicks as purchase or sale. It's not that difficult of a process to import offline sales into Google Ads. You just need to make sure that as you're collecting the data on your site, you do a few little things to make sure you get the vital area, the vital aspect of what happened when you clicked your ad. I'm not going to reveal in this exact moment because I think that building the suspense will lead to greater enjoyment of other videos. But there is one aspect of your page that changes, your code that changes once you click a Google ad. And so as long as you grab that and save it somehow, then you can create a spreadsheet and import your offline sales into Google Ads and track. And we see that there were about 1,300 lead conversions and about 118, well, exactly 118 offline sales that we uploaded. These weren't all the sales because we weren't able to capture the information on 100% of the leads. I would say it was probably about 50% of them that were actually able to import back into Google Ads. So probably about 240-ish sales out of 1,300 leads. The crazy thing that we saw is that we had about 7 different campaigns. We have about 7 different campaigns running, and one of them had the super cheap leads, and we thought that it was going to be the clear winner. But when we imported the sales, we saw that that campaign actually only got 1 sale for every 50 leads that it generated, whereas the other campaigns got about 1 sale in every 4 or 5 leads. So the quality of the lead into the conversion will vary differently based off the campaign, the targeting, or not the campaign, but the targeting and the landing page and the ad creative that you utilize to generate that particular conversion. So that's a very important thing that I think everyone needs to know about conversion tracking, is that not all conversions are created equal. If it's e-commerce, then or somebody just buys your product or has a revenue performed or a transaction performed at the moment of conversion, that's a little bit different because that is the value of the conversion. Although if you calculate in the future value of that customer, then you can get some really big wins. A lot of people don't take that into account, which is detrimental to everything. So let's go on to the next screen share here because we see, or screenshot, because we see there's a bunch of different columns here. And if we click into any of the conversions themselves, then we get this screen. And this screen will allow us to change the different options of each conversion. And the only options that I'm going to talk about right now are count and attribution model, okay? And including conversions. First, whether or not you count the conversion, think about whether or not you would actually want to know whether that happened. Well, want that to be calculated into the bidding algorithms, whether that event happened one time or multiple times. Lead generation, if the same person calls in 5 times, you don't necessarily care that it counts 5 conversions. You would probably prefer it to count 1 because that was one person. Whereas if it was an e-commerce scenario and somebody bought a pair of dress pants from you and then later on bought a shirt, socks, and underwear, you definitely want to know that because it's the money being transmitted to you. It's a new purchase. And so basic rule is count 1 conversion if it is some type of lead generation, or count every conversion if it is a situation where you really would want to take that into account in the bidding algorithms. The including conversions, if you're setting up, if you have an account that's brand new, then this doesn't necessarily matter that much because you will likely not be depending on smart bidding algorithms yet. That being said, that's also kind of a rhetorical question because if you have a brand new account, then you don't have traffic and you can't, it doesn't matter whether or not you would include this because it's just brand new. But if you have a more mature account, and especially if you're using target CPA or return on ad spend as your bidding strategies, then you want to make sure to include any conversion that you create as no initially. Make sure that it's tracking correctly, and then switch it over to yes after a handful of days you've verified that it is in fact working correctly. And be mindful of over counting conversions, having the same conversion happening multiple times, because that or having your conversions, because you add in the new conversion, your conversions start to happen much more frequently. Because if you are using those target CPA or target ROAS strategies, then adding in that additional conversion can totally throw off everything, and you don't want to do that. So mark it as no, and then make sure you're managing which conversions are being counted very carefully. Attribution model. I currently have time decay selected here. I go into more detail about what the attribution model is here because I think it's super important for everybody to understand. Do not, in most scenarios, most advertisers do not choose the top option, which is usually the default option as of today, called last click. Data driven, that's not really the top one. That is hardly ever enabled unless you have just massive conversion volume in your account. It is not enabled. But whenever you're creating a new conversion, there's obviously 0 conversions, and so last click will be the default for the time being. Last click, the reason that it doesn't bring benefit to real brands is because the beauty of being a brand is that you have brand awareness, and people are typing your brand name into Google. Your branded keywords should be driving some of the highest sales volumes for your entire business. And if for example, a user, you're prospecting for new people, and somebody types in, we'll say that we sell golf pants. Somebody types in best pants to wear for golf. Your ad comes up. They may or may not even click on it, but they see your URL. And then after that, you begin targeting them because they're in the audience of wanting to purchase pants. So you start showing them your YouTube videos, start showing them your display ads, and they're seeing your brand. And then they go back and they type in that same search, deals on, it's a very similar search regarding golf pants, like deals for golf pants. Your ad shows up again. That time you might get the click, but you might not even get the purchase. They just are browsing your site, and wondering whether or not your deals are comparable or better than other deals. They go back to Google, they click around on a couple other sites. Then the next day, they think, you know what, I really liked those pants and I would really like to buy those. And so I'm just going to type that brand name into Google or go directly to the site and then complete the purchase there. If you have last click selected, then none of your previous campaigns will get any credit for that conversion, and the person would have never even heard about you if you did not have those previous ad experiences. They would have never gotten to the point where they said, hey, this is the brand that I want. And so time decay is one of my more preferred. It seems to work the best and provide accurate reporting as far as which campaigns are actually driving conversions. But the description that Google gives it is that time decay gives more credit to clicks that happened closer in time to the conversion. So this takes in the clock, the actual clock, into account, whereas other strategies such as linear or position-based, those don't necessarily calculate in time, human time, but they just say each ad interaction, regardless of how much time was available in between each of those interactions. So, hang on. First of all, I hate it when people make YouTube videos and then just keep repeating like the same stuff over and over again. So then the next thing is, so I don't want that to be me. I recognize that I've said so a couple times, and let's mix it up. The next thing that I think you should know when setting up conversion tracking, and the final thing, is that if you are using call only ads, I can't really get that great of a view of this, but we'll just look down in this corner. If you're using call only ads, then you're going to need to manually select the conversion for that. It may or may not set up correctly, so just create a phone call ad. I'm not going to talk about how to do that and set that up right now, but as you're creating a new conversion, here you just click on this plus button and it'll guide you through the process. It's super simple. Just pick the phone call and do what we just did. And then on the ad itself, when you create the ad, just select the conversion there so that it begins working. And that is it. I hope that you enjoyed that video. I enjoyed preparing for it and I enjoyed making it. Even though I don't want to edit these videos because that just takes way too long, and I want to focus on providing better content and talking with more people instead of sitting behind my screen editing. I hate editing. So thank you for bearing with the quality of the videos, and I've gotten a couple people very recently over the past 24 to 48 hours who have reached out to me, and I got on the phone with them and reviewed their Google Ads account. And I want to thank one of them was from Ontario, Toronto. His caller ID said Ontario, but he was from Toronto, Canada, and we had a great call. So if you're watching this, thank you. I truly enjoyed it. And if you have an active Google Ads account and would like me to review it with you and help you improve your ROI, I would love nothing more than to do that. And you can do so, that is schedule a call with me, schedule your account review by clicking on the link in the description of all my videos. I have completed the Google Ads compendium as far as the final draft or the second to final draft is concerned. You should know. So if you would like to check that out as well, I am looking for people to provide me feedback, and there's a special link with a special pre-sale offer that is going to be right below the schedule a call link. Hope you have a great day, wonderful life. It is August 6th, 2019. My birthday is coming up soon, and I'm looking to live my best life, as I hope you are. Bye-bye now.